designer artist, did you know it was what you wanted to do from a very early age? And where did your passion for art start?
Yeah, absolutely. So no,
Mm-hmm.
sorry, I should have said no, I didn't know. I think that something that's very important to me is to, as I'm growing in this business, is to sort of look back at those artists that I think a lot of our society promotes something that's stable, and that's understandable. Like I get that, but that was, and art just, it frankly isn't that, and being creative
Mm-hmm.
isn't that, because it's such a fluid, ambiguous concept. It's like, how do you monetize it? How do you make a living from this? So up until I was 30, I just did what I was supposed to do. I mean, I
Mm-hmm.
worked in e-commerce, or I worked for my family business, or I worked in it. I wasn't happy at all. And that led to struggles with addiction, led to struggles with mental health.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and at 30, it all came to a point, and I had to regroup and look back on my life and sort of really realize that, like, I don't have a choice. Like, I
Mm-hmm.
have to do what I love, because I have a sickness of the soul right now, and I have to do something about it. And at that time, I realized, because to speak to your point of was I always drawing? I 100% was always drawing. I was in the back room of my parents' store as they were trying to get it set up and figure out what they were going to do. They're entrepreneurs. And like any entrepreneur knows, it takes years and years and years to make a business work. So they
Yeah.
couldn't afford anybody to look after me, couldn't afford daycare. So I was just in the back stock room with
Hmm.
some big pens drawing dinosaurs,
Mm-hmm.
because I'm of the age where Jurassic Park was the coolest thing at
So
that time.
cool. Yeah.
Um, so really, I'm the key demographic. I love dinosaurs and I loved basketball. So when the Toronto Raptors came here, it was just a perfect marriage for me. So yeah, 30, after, sort of figuring out my mental health and my struggles with addiction, I just decided I wanted to go into a creative field. And at that time, I decided that maybe that meant doing logos or designing websites for people. And I had to really hone my craft, because it
Mm-hmm.
was a hobby for 10 years. It was something I was doing on the side, maybe like once or twice every month. And to do that, I drew basketball players, because that's just what I was watching all the time. And it was a great study of the human form, right? Like,
Mm-hmm.
they're so dynamic, they're jumping, they're excited, they're yelling.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and at that point, there was a Art of the North show, like just as I was sort of getting started, and they reached out to me to put my art in it. I said, "Oh, okay, cool. So let's do that." And I built out some drawings, and one of them was of Fred VanVleet. And he saw it, and he reached out to me and said, like, "I want this. Like, can we put it on my clothing brand?" And then I just had a little light bulb moment over my head and realized, like, oh, maybe I can monetize this. This seems like
Yeah.
ridiculous. Like, it
Yeah.
doesn't make any sense that this would be my job. But it
And
seems,
how?
so I just continued and chased that. And then I was working with Pascal. Then I was working with all these people. And I just kept pushing, 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 and being really honest with where I was, and like
Mm-hmm.
in terms of talent and skill, and made sure that in those, I think it's been 3 years since then, that every day I was pushing myself to be where I needed to be to really make this something.